Hello and a big welcome to your first Mastering the Basics English Speaking Complete lesson. We're going to be learning core English language skills throughout this module of the course. I commonly see students make errors in pretty basic skills for English speaking. So I want to give you the base skills to make sure that we are building our fluency. Today, we'll be looking at some really important information in regards to English speaking, and that is breaking down our speech into 9 main parts. By doing this, we'll know exactly what each word and what each part in our speaking is and why it's important. And I'll be talking about all these different parts of language all the way throughout the course. So this really is a super important lesson. I think without further ado, if you are ready, we should start your first Mastering the Basics lesson. So, as I said, we can commonly break down English speaking into sometimes 8 or, as I prefer, 9 main parts. And again, this can really help when studying and learning English language. It can really help our understanding of how to improve our grammar skills and fluency as well. So what are these 9 parts? Well, here is our table and we'll go through each part individually. On the left, we have a list of our 9 main parts. So we'll start with nouns. Some of you may have heard of some of these, but I'll be going into a bit more detail throughout this video. So nouns are the names of a person, place, or thing. And here we have David, TV, London, book. Pronouns are similar to nouns, but they actually just replace them in our speaking as well as writing too. And that is, for example, he, she, they, it. That isn't an exhaustive list, which in other words means that's not all the pronouns listed, just a few examples there. Really importantly, we also have verbs, which of course is an action or a doing word. And we'll be going into verbs in more detail in this video, as well as upcoming Mastering the Basics videos as well. Here's some examples. Sing, jump, ate, laugh. As you may know, the verb can also tell us when it happened. Past tense, present tense, or future tense. Now we have adverbs. Now adverbs generally describe the verb in a variety of ways. Quietly, steadily, slowly. Then we have adjectives, which simply describe a noun. Shiny, fat, beautiful. And now we have articles, which I commonly see non-native English speakers making mistakes with. And this just helps define or say which noun we are talking about. And here's just 3 of the main articles we'll be looking at. The, a, and an. Really important to make sure that we are getting each article right when we use it. Now we have conjunctions, connectives, connecting parts of speech, because, and, so. And we also have prepositions, another really interesting part of English language that non-native speakers make a lot of errors in. So really important that we increase our accuracy and fluency there. So this gives ideas generally for place or time, and it maybe can connect 1 or 2 nouns within our speaking. Between, above, before. And finally, a little bit of a smaller part of speech, but nevertheless quite important. We have interjections. So this is expressing emotions or feelings, and it usually ends when we write in an exclamation mark. Hooray! Woohoo! Okay, so that is the 9 parts of speech we'll be focusing on throughout this lesson. Again, I'll be coming back to these features of English language throughout the entire course. So it's good that we get an understanding right at the beginning so that we all know exactly the different terminology for parts of English speaking. So let's begin with, in a bit more detail, nouns and pronouns. So they're used generally to give a subject in our speaking, to say a certain thing, a certain person, a place, an object. And they are probably the most common types of word in English. So we can consider nouns as having common and proper nouns. So that's what I just want to look at quickly now. So common nouns are for general, not specific, just talking about as a whole, people, places, or things. I really like to read younger authors. Now, authors in general, I'm not talking about a specific person, just authors in general. Well, bananas are pretty good for you. I don't have a banana in my hand and talking about this one. I mean bananas on the whole, overall, not specifically. You always enjoyed learning new languages. Very true. Languages in general, not one specific one. Okay, let's take a look at proper nouns. So these are used when talking about a specific person, place, or thing. And this is where in writing we must use capital letters. Of course, in speaking we can't indicate the use of capital letters. My dad said New York is a really fun city. Stevie Wonder was an amazing funk musician. The Pacific Ocean is huge. So in all 3 examples, I'm talking about a specific place or person or object, and I need to capitalize in writing. This is useful for our overall understanding of English language. Of course, we'll be focusing mostly on English speaking, but developing fluency in the whole of English language is going to be really useful to you as well. Okay, let's take a look at pronouns. So here's some examples of just a few different pronouns. I, you, us, she, mine, and ours. Okay, so once again, pronouns are used quite simply to replace some types of nouns in our speaking. Here's a few examples. I never thought this year would end. Where do you want to go? Actually, that book is mine, I think. Okay, so that is just a quick run through of nouns and pronouns. Very important when adding different subjects, places, people, things into our speaking. Now let's take a look at verbs and adverbs. Again, super common part of speech, and in terms of communication and speaking, verbs especially are really important. So, as you may know, doing or action words, but depending on the verb form, how we say it, how we write the verb, it can also tell us about the time, past, present, future tense. Has the action happened yet, or will it happen in the future? Here's a few examples. Do, see, laugh, jump, thought, flew, cooked, study. I thought I would never win the lottery. Adverbs quite simply describe verbs. So we use them next to a verb to give the verb a bit more information. Quietly, slowly, funnily, quickly, sleepily. as you can probably see, often ending in ly, Lee. I slowly crept back into bed. So in green, our adverb slowly, and it's linked to this verb crept in red. It gives crept more information. We did this action slowly. Okay, so next up we have adjectives and articles. Adjectives, super useful. We can commonly see adjectives and articles next to each other. Quite simply, adjectives describe a noun. They give more information about the noun. Here's some examples. Thick, tall, red, big, beautiful, quiet. And here we can see a sentence. I must say you are a very tall guy. Guy, of course, is our noun. Tall is our adjective. Okay, articles, really important that we are accurate in our use of articles because a common mistake made by people learning English. Define the noun. They tell us which noun we are talking about.
And there are 3 articles that we'll take a look at quickly.
A, an, and the. A big pool would be awesome. Not a specific thing. I'm not talking about a pool I know or a pool I can see. I'm talking about a pool, a swimming pool in general. A big pool would be awesome. I would love a big pool. Not specifically any pool, just a big one, whichever it may be. Now, an apple is very delicious. Again, not a specific thing. Now, quite simply, an apple. Sounds strange, an apple. If our noun, apple, begins with a vowel, A, E, I, O, or U, then the article we use is an. So apple begins with A, so we'll need an apple. This is a really, really common mistake that English speakers, both native and non-native, make. Another one could be egg. It's not a egg, it's an egg. An egg. Okay, lastly, we have the. The noisy dog is really loud. And here we are talking about a specific dog. I can see it maybe, or I know this dog. The noisy dog is really loud. So just important that you are very careful in your use of articles. A, an, and the. Okay, so let's take a look at conjunctions, prepositions, and interjections, the last 3 parts of speech we'll be looking at. But I'd just like to focus on conjunctions first. So conjunctions are used to link ideas or parts of speech together. Now, later in the course, when we start getting to these more advanced skill-based lessons, I'll be talking about how conjunctions link clauses. If you know what clauses are, great. If not, don't worry. We'll talk about it in much more depth later. But for now, conjunctions, also known as connective words, are used to link parts of speech. Here's some examples. Although, because, therefore, and so, and furthermore. They often go in the middle of the sentence. So let's take a look. I don't want lunch because I'm not hungry. So we really have 2 big ideas here. I don't want lunch. Idea 1. Idea 2, I'm not hungry. We can connect them. We can really link the ideas with this conjunction because. I don't want lunch because I'm not hungry. Here's another example. There's a sale in town, so I'll go shopping later. That gives us the result, this conjunction so. Gives us the result of my first idea. There's a sale in town. So, therefore, I'll go shopping later. But it's also fair to say that sometimes conjunctions can go at the start of our sentences, at the start of our speaking. Although it's raining, I'll still go for a run. It's raining, idea 1. I'm still going out for a run, idea 2. And here we have one last example. You work 2 jobs, therefore you're busy. Again, showing result, linking the result of my first idea. Okay, so conjunctions, connectives, super important for sure. And again, we'll be looking at them in a lot more detail throughout the whole course. Okay, so let's take a look at prepositions. Much like articles, non-native speakers do commonly make errors, both in speaking and writing, with use of prepositions. Again, prepositions give information for nouns about place, time, could be order as well, firstly, secondly after that. Let's see some examples. Over, inside, during, before, on top, after. I'm pretty sure the key is inside my back pocket. Here we have 2 prepositions, inside, the key inside, and back pocket. Not just pocket, I say back pocket. So giving lots of information regarding these nouns. And here we're talking about place. How about we meet after dinner? Here we have a preposition of time, after an event. Okay, so let's take a look at interjections. Again, slightly smaller part of speech, not something that we'll be focusing on a lot throughout the course, but it's good that you have an understanding of what it is. We use them a lot within speaking. Okay, so they describe or they tell others about our feelings, whether it's surprise or just generally our emotions, such as ouch, woohoo, you, eek. I think the third one, you, is maybe more linked to surfing culture, so maybe not as important, but I thought I would include it too. Woohoo, I won the lottery. Ouch, what did you kick me for? Now, it's worth saying interjections really aren't so important in written English. They may be used in stories, in fiction stories, but generally they're more important in verbal communication, speech, which, of course, is our focus throughout this course. Okay, so that is a run through of those 9 parts of speech, a really useful introduction to all these different parts of our speaking. Again, we'll be covering them in great detail throughout the course, and we're going to be really pushing and developing your English language fluency. But for now, it's time that we jump into the animated section of the course, where we'll see all these different things we've learnt used in more examples.